When a woman wears something that shows almost everything, it is never an accident. Let's be real, folks. You walk into the gym or the grocery store, and there she is in those skin-tight leggings, every curve on display. Your eyes jump before your brain even catches up. You look away, look back, feel that pull in your gut, and then the shame kicks in. You tell yourself maybe she does not know how revealing that is. Maybe it is just fashion. My friend, I am here to wake you up, not to comfort you. She knows. And there are reasons. Because what looks like a harmless outfit is not harmless at all. It is a signal, a weapon, a quiet game being played on your biology, your focus, and your ego. She is not just getting dressed. She is sending a message. The question is, do you speak that language? Or are you just another man who stares, stumbles, and fails the test? In this video, you and I will break down 5 ruthless reasons she shows this to every man, and why understanding them will change the way you move, the way you look, and the way you carry your masculine power. By the end, you will stop feeling guilty and start feeling in control. If you are ready to see what is really going on, hit subscribe and stay close. Let's get into it. Number 1. Her display is intentional. My friend, let's get something straight. When a woman wears leggings so tight they outline everything, it is not a wardrobe accident. It is not a blind spot, and it is definitely not ignorance. Women notice every angle, every contour, every reflection in a mirror. They know exactly what those clothes reveal and exactly what those clothes do to the male mind. The display is intentional, the effect is calculated, and the reaction she gets from men like you is part of the game. Let me make this real with a situation you've probably lived without understanding. In Austin, a man named Robert, 58, goes to his morning gym class. He's there to stretch, lift, stay in shape. Across the room is a woman named Emily, 53, wearing light gray leggings that outline every line of her lower body. Robert notices it instantly. His eyes jump before he can even think. He forces himself to look away, then wonders if she even realizes how revealing that outfit is. But here's the truth he never learned: she realizes it more than he does. Because women study their bodies with precision. When a woman leaves the house wearing that kind of fabric, she has already checked herself in 3 mirrors. She has tested the lighting. She has chosen the outfit not because it is comfortable, but because it is strategic. The point is not nudity. The point is outline. Just enough to trigger your biology, but not enough to violate any rule. It is permission wrapped inside plausible innocence. And here's the psychology behind it. Men respond to shape faster than they respond to emotion. Women know this. They know that certain fabrics, certain cuts, certain angles hit your instincts before your morality has time to wake up. You don't choose to look. Your brain reacts before you do. That reaction is the product. She is not trying to sleep with you. She is trying to feel wanted by you. There is a difference. This is why her display is intentional. It feeds attention without requiring commitment. It pulls eyes without inviting touch. It gives her the psychological power of being desired while keeping her hands clean. She can always say, "It's just clothing," while knowing exactly how it affects you. Let's look at another real moment. In Seattle, a man named Kevin, 60, goes for a walk around Green Lake. He passes a woman, maybe mid-50s, in bright yoga pants that cut across her hips like they were designed in a lab. Kevin looks away, fast embarrassed at himself. But the woman, she saw where your eyes landed before you even realized they landed. Women are experts at reading micro-glances. They know the timing of the look, the tension behind it, and they know the power they have when a grown man loses his composure for half a second. And here is the truth you need to hear: her display is not about you. It is about what your reaction does for her. It boosts her self-image. It raises her social value among other women. It gives her silent control over the environment. It turns the room into a stage, and she becomes the center of it without saying a word. If this feels familiar, drop a comment and type, "I see this." Stick with me because the next part reveals the biological trigger she activates in you before you even know what's happening. Number 2. She triggers your biology. My friend, let's talk about something men rarely admit out loud, but feel instantly. Your body reacts before your mind understands what is happening. When a woman wears leggings that outline everything, she is triggering something ancient inside you. Not preference, not fantasy, instinct. The male brain has been wired for thousands of years to scan, detect, and respond to certain shapes on a woman's body long before language, manners, or modern rules ever existed. And she knows this. She may not say it, but she knows exactly what part of you she is waking up. Here is the truth most men never hear. Your reaction is not weakness. It is biology. It is firmware, not failure. Stoics understood this long before psychology gave it a name. Epictetus said a man cannot control what first appears in his mind, only the judgment he applies afterward. Your eyes catching that outline is the first appearance. It is instinct meeting stimulus. It is your brain firing before your morals load in. And what exactly is she triggering? The most primal visual code in the male brain, the waist-hip ratio, the pelvic outline, the lower abdominal shape, the curve that signals health, vitality, and reproductive potential. You might think you're just looking by accident, but your subconscious is reading a catalogue of biological indicators in less than a second. She does not need to be naked. She only needs to show the shape of what would matter biologically. Thin fabric does the job even better than skin because it creates what psychologists call the phantom nudity effect. Your mind sees clothing, but your instincts register form. This is why leggings have taken over the modern world, because they hit the male brain in two opposite ways at the same time: socially acceptable, sexually explosive. For the law, she's dressed. For your biology, she's exposed. And that tension creates an internal surge you don't choose. It happens on its own. Now, here's where the psychology gets even deeper. When a woman triggers your biology, she gains power over your attention, not because she is manipulating you, but because your instincts are easier to activate than your discipline. She doesn't need to speak. She doesn't need to flirt. She doesn't need to do anything but walk past you, and that 1-second jolt of instinctive pull becomes her advantage in the social environment. Your eyes give her free information. Your reaction tells her what she needs to know, and she reads it instantly, without effort. Men often shame themselves for this, thinking they are creeps for noticing. But listen closely. A man is not defined by the first impulse. He is defined by what he does next. That is the Stoic lesson. The instinct is masculine biology. The control afterward is masculine character. And when you understand the difference between the two, you stop feeling guilty and start feeling grounded. You stop apologizing for instinct and start mastering your response. What she triggers in you is natural. What you choose to do with it is powerful. Drop a comment if this speaks to you. Type, "I control myself." Stay with me, because the next part exposes how she uses your attention as her hidden source of power. Number 3. She feeds on your attention. My friend, let me talk to you clearly, because this part exposes the true game most men never see. A woman does not dress in those skin-tight leggings, that revealing fabric, that strategic outline just for comfort. She does it because your attention is a resource, a currency, a psychological fuel. And the moment your eyes lock onto her for even half a second, she gets exactly what she came for. Not your number, not your affection, not your commitment, your attention. Let me make this real with something that happens every single day. In Denver, a man named Anthony, 57, goes to his usual gym. He's focused, disciplined, sticking to his routine. Then a woman named Sarah, 52, walks in, wearing leggings that leave nothing to the imagination. She stretches in the center of the room, angles her body toward the mirror, adjusts her outfit just enough to highlight the shape she wants seen. Anthony looks once, then quickly tries to look away, slightly embarrassed. But Sarah saw it. She didn't need a full stare. She only needed a flicker. That flicker confirms to her that the display is working, that she is visible, that she is desired. It feeds her sense of feminine power. This is what I mean when I say she feeds on your attention. She absorbs the energy behind the look, not the look itself. It gives her a feeling of validation that has nothing to do with wanting you romantically. It's narcissistic supply, subtle but potent. The thrill isn't in getting a man. The thrill is in getting men to react without her lifting a finger. She becomes the center of a silent orbit, and every man in the room becomes a planet revolving around her for a moment. And here's the part most men miss. She doesn't need your approval. She only needs the involuntary pull of your instinct. That pull is her proof that she is still wanted, still powerful, still able to command attention without saying a single word. Whether you're married, single, older, younger, it doesn't matter. The male gaze is universal, and she knows how to draw it like an artist knows how to use light. Let's look at another moment. In Miami, a man named Charles, 60, takes a walk along the boardwalk. A woman, maybe 55, wearing high-cut leggings and a loose top that somehow highlights everything, jogs past him. He glances for 1 second, maybe 2. She doesn't break stride, doesn't smile, doesn't acknowledge him. But inside, she knows that glance happened. Women feel the weight of a man's eyes immediately. They track it without turning their head. They read it like a sixth sense. And that tiny burst of attention gives her the same micro-hit of validation that social media likes were designed to replicate. You think your attention is harmless, but to her, it is a feedback loop. It boosts her ego. It raises her position in the silent hierarchy among other women. It reminds her that even as she ages, her femininity still has force. And when she walks into a room, capturing the gaze of men her own age, younger men, even men who try not to look, she gains a sense of power no compliment could ever give her. And here's what you need to understand. She is not malicious. She is not evil. She is human. Vanity is universal, but feminine vanity expresses itself through being seen. What you feel as instinct, she uses as energy. Drop a comment if this hits home for you. Type, "I see truth." Stay with me because the next part exposes why she isn't just displaying for men, she's competing with other women. Number 4. She battles other women. My friend, listen closely, because this part is where most men stay blind their entire lives. You think she's dressing that way for you. You think the leggings, the outline, the slow stretch, the mirror pose is about catching the male gaze. And yes, part of it is. But the deeper layer, the ruthless layer, is that she is competing with other women. That outfit is not just a display. It is a declaration of hierarchy, a quiet territorial signal saying, "I outrank you." Women don't fight with fists. They fight with presence. They fight with beauty. They fight with visibility. And nothing gives a woman more visibility than showcasing the one thing every other woman is terrified of losing: feminine advantage. That's why when she walks into the gym or the cafe or the yoga studio dressed in something that outlines everything, she's not just entering the room, she's entering the battlefield. Here's what you need to understand. Men are simple in how they compete. Women are strategic. Men compete by action. Women compete by perception. So when she wears something that reveals her shape, she isn't just trying to attract men, she's trying to overshadow women. It's social dominance in its purest form. It's the same instinct that drove ancient tribes to wear feathers, jewelry, and symbols of rank. Except now, The symbol is her body. Stoics warned men repeatedly about judging battles by the surface. Marcus Aurelius said, "Look beneath the surface. Within is the real substance." On the surface, it's just leggings. Beneath the surface, it's psychological warfare. Women know exactly what other women envy. They know what other women cannot ignore. They know that attention from men shifts the power dynamic instantly. When a woman gets the eyes of the room, every other woman feels it, even if no words are exchanged. You've seen this before. The long glance women give each other, the quick scan, the silent assessment. Women read each other like stock traders reading charts. And when she shows off her body in a way others can't or won't, she is boosting her position in that silent hierarchy. You may think she's just wearing leggings to be comfortable, but if comfort was the goal, she'd pick something neutral, something loose, something forgettable. She didn't. She chose fabric so tight it might as well be painted on, because it wins her the room before anyone even speaks. And every man's micro-glance, every head turn, every tiny instinctive reaction becomes ammunition in her rivalry with other women. Here's the part you have to see clearly. A woman doesn't need to sleep with a man to dominate another woman. She only needs to attract him. And when she knows she can pull in the eyes of men her age, younger men, older men, married men, men who try hard not to look, she wins the psychological battle without lifting a finger. This isn't vanity. This is strategy. And once you understand it, you stop being confused by her motives. You see the entire game for what it is. If you want deeper breakdowns like this, less fluff, more truth, more psychology, consider joining the channel membership. That's where I go, far past what I can say in public videos. Drop a comment if this opened your eyes. Type "I rise above." Number 5. She hides exhibitionism. My friend, this is where things get a little darker, a little more honest, and a lot more real. Because what most men never realize is this: a woman can be an exhibitionist without ever admitting it to herself. She can crave being seen while pretending she doesn't. She can dress in a way that exposes everything while claiming innocence. And the modern world gives her the perfect shield to hide behind fabric, thin fabric, strategic fabric, fabric that covers nothing but technically counts as clothing. Let me make this real with a moment you've probably witnessed. In San Diego, a man named Marcus, 59, goes for his regular morning walk. Nearby, a woman named Claire, 54, jogs past in leggings, so tight they outline every detail of her lower body. Marcus notices, of course he does. He's a man, not a statue. But here's the part he doesn't understand. Claire knows exactly what she's showing. She knows the outline is visible. She knows the effect it has. But because there is fabric, she gets the thrill of being seen without the guilt of showing too much. That is exhibitionism hidden under the mask of normal clothing. This is what psychologists call safe exposure. The desire to be looked at combined with the safety of plausible deniability. She wants the rush of being seen, the adrenaline of knowing she's causing reactions, the power of being desired. But she wants all of that without ever having to take responsibility for it. She wants the fire without the blame. She enjoys the attention while keeping the ability to say, "Why are you staring? It's just gym wear." And trust me, she knows the difference between neutral leggings and revealing leggings. She knows which brands contour her body, which colors show every line, which fabrics cling like a second skin. Women test these things in the mirror, adjusting angles, experimenting with lighting, choosing the pair that creates the strongest outline. This isn't random. This isn't accidental. This is curated visibility. Let's look at another example. In Virginia, a man named Alan, 61, attends a group stretching class. Across the room, a woman named Monica, 56, bends forward, adjusts her waistband, and pauses for just 1 second longer than needed. Alan feels a jolt of instinct. He looks away. But here's the key. Monica knew that pause would be seen. Maybe not by him specifically, but by someone. That tiny pause is not sexual in action, it is sexual in effect. It's a moment designed to be seen without being labeled. That's hidden exhibitionism. And here is the deeper truth: most men are blind to women crave emotional sensation. Being desired gives them a hit of dopamine, the same way accomplishment gives it to men. When she notices men noticing her, it validates her femininity, her beauty, her presence. It tells her that she still has the power to turn heads, and that power matters more to her psychology than most men understand. The modern world has simply made it easier for her to indulge that craving without consequence. Leggings, yoga pants, athleisure wear, these are socially accepted forms of exposure. They are legal exhibitionism disguised as comfort, and society protects her with the perfect shield. It's just clothes. You're the one sexualizing it. She hides the desire to be seen behind innocence. She hides the wish for attention behind fabric, and she hides the thrill behind denial. Drop a comment if you recognize this pattern. Type, "I see truth." Stay with me, because next we break down the two exact types of exposure she uses on men. Number 6. Two kinds of exposure. My friend, let's slow down here, because this part reveals the exact mechanism behind her display. What most men think is just leggings actually falls into two very different categories. And if you can't recognize which one you're dealing with, you will misread everything that comes next. She uses two kinds of exposure: the accidental code and the aggressive code. Both look similar on the surface. Both trigger your biology. But the intention behind each one is completely different. Once you understand this split, the entire game becomes clear. Let's start with the first, the accidental exposure code. This is when she appears casual, effortless, almost unaware of what she's showing. Her outfit looks natural. Her hair might be tied loosely, minimal makeup, maybe she's listening to music or focused on her workout. From the outside, it feels like she isn't trying. But here is what most men don't see. Accidental exposure is often the most strategic kind, because it creates innocence. It creates the illusion that she isn't aware of the effect she has on the room. And that illusion makes your reaction feel even stronger. It disarms you. It lowers your guard. It makes her visibility feel organic, not calculated. But trust me, my friend, a woman knows how her body moves in fabric. She knows what clings, what outlines, and what reveals. Accidental is rarely accidental. Then there is the second type, the aggressive exposure code. This one is unmistakable. The leggings are tighter. The colors are chosen specifically to highlight shape. The fabric is designed to contour and lift. She changes posture. She holds stretches longer than necessary. She checks her reflection more often. She gives micro glances to see who is watching. She is not hiding the intent. She is amplifying it. This type of exposure says without words, "Can you handle me?" It is bold, confident, and deliberate. There is no innocence here, only performance. She walks into the room knowing she will pull attention, and she wants every woman around her to feel it. Now here's the real key. Both types are tests, not sexual invitations, tests. She is reading how you react to each one. The accidental exposure tests your instinct. The aggressive exposure tests your control. A man who collapses under either one fails. A man who notices but does not chase passes. This is why the Stoics emphasized mastery over impulse. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." You cannot control how she dresses. You cannot control what she shows. But you can control your reaction. And your reaction reveals your rank. When you see accidental exposure and lose composure, she knows your instincts own you. When you see aggressive exposure and overreact, she knows your discipline is weak. When you notice both calmly, she knows you are a man who governs himself. And that, my friend, is the rarest signal a man can give. Because in a world where most men either stare like wolves or glance away like frightened mice, the man who can look, register, stay centered, and remain unmoved becomes the standout. The one she remembers, the one she respects, the one she cannot categorize or control. Drop a comment if you get this now. Type "I stay centered." Stay tuned, because next we talk about how she tests your reaction with precision you've never noticed before. Number 7. She tests your reaction. My friend, this is where the game gets subtle, sharp, and brutally precise. Because once she has displayed herself, once she has triggered your biology, once she has fed off your attention, she moves to the real purpose of all of it, testing you. Not testing whether you want her, testing whether you can handle her, testing whether you are controlled or controlled by instinct. And trust me, she reads your reaction faster than you read the time on your phone. Women have an almost supernatural ability to track the male gaze. They feel it before they see it. They sense it the same way you might sense someone stepping into your personal space. But the test isn't, did he look? Every man looks. The test is in how you look. How long? How quickly you recover? Whether you shift into shame, hunger, confusion, or composure, your entire inner world is revealed to her in under 1 second. Let me make this real with an everyday moment. In Phoenix, a man named Daniel, 58, walks into his usual gym. A woman named Melissa, 54, is wearing leggings that outline everything. She picks a spot near the mirror, adjusts her waistband and stretches. She doesn't look at Daniel directly. She doesn't need to. She catches his reaction in the mirror. Daniel looks for just a little too long. His posture stiffens, his eyes jump away, his breathing changes slightly. Melissa sees every micro shift. She doesn't smile, doesn't acknowledge it, doesn't change her behavior. But inside she has already drawn conclusions about him. To her, that reaction says, he's thrown off. He has no internal authority. Later that same day, another man, Michael, 60, walks in. Melissa does the same, stretch the same adjustment. Michael notices, registers, then returns to his workout without any visible disruption. No panic, no hunger, no shame. His gaze was steady, neutral, grounded. She sees that too, and instantly he becomes more interesting. Not because he is attracted, because he is composed. This is the test, my friend. And she runs it on every man in the room without ever speaking a word. A man who stares too long, fail. That's the hungry puppy. A man who looks away instantly in panic, fail. That's the shy mouse. A man who pretends not to notice at all, fail. That's insecurity disguised as avoidance. But a man who notices with calm awareness, who doesn't flinch, who doesn't rush into shame or desire, that man passes the test. He shows strength without aggression, interest without neediness, instinct without loss of control. You need to understand something essential. Her test is never about morality. It's about evaluating your nervous system. She wants to see the truth of you in the moment your instincts get triggered. Women do not trust a man who collapses into desire, and they do not respect a man who collapses into fear. They seek the rare middle, the man who can stand inside attraction without being pulled off center. This is why your reaction matters more than you think. She learns who you are not from your words, but from the microsecond where biology hits you and you either stay grounded or fall apart. That one instant tells her whether you are a man she can respect, challenge, tease, or consider. Drop a comment if this hits home. Type "I stay steady." Let's keep going, because next we uncover how she uses your reaction to decide whether to pull you in or push you away. Number 8. The look that lowers you. My friend, this is the moment most men never see themselves clearly. Because the truth is simple, one look can raise your value and one look can drop it straight to the floor. And the look that lowers you is the one every man gives when he's not in control of himself. A look driven by instinct, desperation, hunger, or shame. A look that betrays you before you even know it, left your eyes. Women read that look instantly. They don't need a conversation. They don't need context. They can feel the shift in your energy the moment your gaze changes. You think you're being subtle, but your micro-expressions speak louder than anything you could ever say. The moment she displays herself, the moment the outline hits your instinct, she's waiting to see what your eyes do next. That's where she judges you. Here's the hard truth: when she catches that uncontrolled look, your status drops. The hungry look exposes your need. The frozen look exposes your insecurity. The guilty look exposes your lack of grounding. And the overly polite avoidance look exposes your fear. Every one of those reactions communicates something Stoics warned men about centuries ago. The man who cannot command himself becomes a slave to the moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You become what your thoughts permit." Today it becomes you become what your reactions reveal. When you lose control of your gaze, you lose control of the interaction. She's no longer evaluating you as a strong, stable presence. She's categorizing you with every other man who falls apart under pressure. And remember, this attraction begins with curiosity, but respect begins with composure. Without respect, you have nothing. Let me paint it clearly. When she displays herself, she's inviting instinct, but she's testing discipline. If your eyes widen, linger, dart, panic, or drop in embarrassment, she sees it all. That one look tells her you're reactive. And reactive men are predictable. Predictable men are safe. Safe men are not exciting. They become background noise the same way white noise becomes unnoticeable after 5 seconds. And here is the deeper layer. The look that lowers you makes her feel above you. Not consciously, not maliciously, but instinctively. The moment she senses you losing your center, she feels the imbalance like a scale tipping. Women are acutely sensitive to this shift because it tells them who has internal authority and who doesn't. When you hold your gaze with calm neutrality, she feels your presence. When you look with control, she feels your strength. When you stay grounded, she feels your depth. But when your eyes betray you, she feels your weakness. And weakness, my friend, is something she will never chase. She might like you, she might think you're kind, she might enjoy the attention, but she will never feel drawn toward a man who collapses the moment desire enters the room. Attraction requires polarity. Polarity requires stability. And stability requires that you do not get pulled out of your center by a thin layer of fabric. This is why I keep telling you the battlefield isn't her outfit, it's your reaction. Women don't defeat men with clothing. Men defeat themselves by responding like boys instead of men. Drop a comment if this makes sense. Type "I hold center." Stay tuned, because next we talk about the masculine composure she keeps coming back to. Number 9. The composure she craves. My friend, let's be honest. After everything we've broken down so far, the display, the biology, the attention, the competition, the hidden exhibitionism, the 2 exposure codes, the tests, you should understand one thing. Clearly, she isn't looking for a man who reacts. She's looking for a man who remains. Composure is the rare masculine currency she can't manufacture, can't mimic, and can't resist. It's the one thing that separates you from every other man whose eyes jump, whose posture collapses, or whose instincts take over before his mind even wakes up. Let me show you what real composure looks like in the wild. In Chicago, a man named Steven, 60, goes to his local gym every morning. He's calm, quiet, focused. A woman named Laura, 55, comes in, wearing leggings designed to trigger every man in the room. And trust me, it works on most of them. They shift in their seats. They pretend not to look. They look again. They overcorrect. They lose themselves in the moment. But Stephen, he notices, acknowledges, then returns to his workout without a ripple in his energy. no panic, no hunger, no guilt, just presence, composed, grounded. What do you think happens next? Laura notices him, not because he stared, not because he chased, but because he didn't fall apart. She reads his calm like a signal flare. Here is a man who isn't moved by instinct alone. Here is a man who isn't intimidated by beauty. Here is a man whose center is stronger than the moment he's in. Women crave that. They crave a man who can feel attraction without becoming a slave to it. A man who can look without losing himself. A man whose grounded energy creates tension instead of dissolving into neediness. When she sees that kind of composure, something primal happens inside her. Her curiosity rises. Her respect grows. Her attraction deepens in ways she can't even articulate, because most men are predictable. But a composed man, he becomes a question, and questions pull women toward you. Here's the deeper truth: composure creates polarity. Polarity creates attraction. Attraction creates pursuit. This is why a woman will return to a man who stays calm when every other man falls into instinct. She feels safer around him. She feels more feminine around him. She feels the contrast she's biologically wired to respond to. When you hold your center, she feels her own center soften in your presence. Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Seneca wrote, "No man is more powerful than the one who has mastered himself." And in the modern world, where women test and men fail constantly, the man who masters his reactions gains an edge that no amount of money, height, looks, or status can replicate. The edge is internal. The edge is invisible. The edge is composure. And the moment she senses it, she begins returning to you. Not physically at first, emotionally. Her attention drifts toward you more often. Her eyes check for you. Her energy adjusts around you. She feels the difference in her body. She cannot explain it logically, but she recognizes it instinctively. You become the rare man who is not thrown off by her display, not shaken by her femininity, not trapped by his own biology. That is the man she craves. That is the man she remembers. That is the man she respects without trying. Drop a comment if this resonates. Type, "I hold power." Stay with me, because next we close this out with the rare response she hopes you never learn to master. Number 10. The rare man she fears losing. My friend, this is where the whole game flips. Because after all the display, all the instinct triggers, all the tests, all the subtle evaluations she runs in the background, there comes a moment when she realizes something she never expected. You are not like the others. And that realization is the beginning of fear. Not fear of you, but fear of losing you. See, most men are predictable. They stare too long. They look away too fast. They become nervous, apologetic, eager, shaky, or overly respectful to compensate for their lack of grounding. Women are used to that. They expect it. They know how to manage it. They know exactly how to stay in control around those men. But the rare man, the man who sees her but doesn't collapse, the man who notices beauty without losing himself in it, the man who stays rooted when her display is designed to unbalance him, that man disrupts her entire internal system. And when a woman meets that type of masculine presence, she feels something she cannot manufacture on her own: uncertainty. Not insecurity, uncertainty. The tension of not being able to predict you, not being able to sway you, not being able to place you in the same category as every other man whose behavior she can read in under 3 seconds. Let me show you what this looks like with a real dynamic. When a woman displays herself, she expects the reaction. She expects the micro stare. She expects the awkwardness. She expects the instinctive pull. But when you remain composed, something shifts inside her. She begins to observe you. She watches you when you aren't looking. She wonders what else doesn't shake you. She wonders how many women have tried to get your attention and failed. She wonders what your life looks like beyond the surface. She wonders what gives you that internal steadiness other men don't have. And here's the crucial part. The moment she starts wondering, she starts valuing. Because a woman only fears losing a man she hasn't fully understood yet. A man who is completely known is never feared. A man who is predictable is never valued. But a man who remains centered, unmoved, unshaken, undistracted becomes rare. And rarity creates desire. Rarity creates emotional investment. Rarity creates chase. Women chase what they cannot easily claim. Women invest in what they cannot easily sway. Women value what they cannot easily read. You become the man whose attention is no longer cheap. You become the man whose presence is felt instead of flaunted. You become the man whose energy doesn't leak out of him with every impulse. And when she senses that her approach changes, she becomes more careful with her words, more intentional with her energy, more attuned to your reactions. She stops treating you like background noise and starts treating you like a variable she must account for. The balance of power tilts not because you took anything from her, but because you held your center when other men didn't. Stoicism teaches that self-mastery is the highest form of strength. And in the modern world, where attention is cheap and instinct rules, most men, the man who masters himself becomes rare by default. Rare in presence, rare in discipline, rare in stability, rare in the way he moves through the world without chasing validation or collapsing into impulse. That is the man she fears losing, the man whose value comes from within, not from her reaction. The man she cannot pull into her frame, the man she cannot inflate or deflate, the man who remains sovereign no matter who stands in front of him or what she is wearing. And when you become that man, you don't chase, you don't react, you don't fold, you don't fall, you stand. And every woman in the room feels it. You've just seen the full truth behind why women display themselves this way, how it triggers your biology, how they compete, test, and evaluate men, and why composure is the rarest masculine power you can carry. When you understand these dynamics, you stop reacting and start leading. You stop collapsing and start standing in your strength. If you want deeper lessons, exclusive breakdowns, and guidance I only share with committed men, consider joining the channel membership. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next video. Thank you for watching, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow.